Governor, wait a minute. You know, so you really have to think right here. You need to talk about GE. And you need to talk about the transition from the big screen for actors to the little screen television. Otherwise, it's not going to make sense. That's what's happening during the 50s. Maybe I remember Howdy Doody, all right? The big screen, little screen. GE, very important. GE hires Ronald Reagan to do the GE Theater, and then on top of it, he goes out to speak to factories. This is a big deal. He's speaking to the American public. He speaks at 139 factories, 39 states. All right, he's starting, at first he talks about Hollywood, they're fascinated. Later, as he's speaking, he's starting to listen to what the American people want. All right, this is important. This is how he's building himself up to the point where not only will he become governor, eventually he'll become a candidate for the presidency. Governor of California, this is one of the toughest rooms. People are kind of flowing around here, and you're going suddenly from this exciting movie star right into here. Now, if you bypass that other tunnel, so to speak, you know, you're missing Little Brown Church, you're missing all of that, the GE, so, and you don't have time, I'll be honest, you don't. So now you've got students in here, Governor of California, depending on how old they are, you'll have to decide. Vietnam, you know, this case, I like to talk about this, and I'm sure you might too, you know, the POWs, and explain to the kids what POW is, prisoners of war. They were being held there in Vietnam. They were coming back to the port of California, Los Angeles. No one was welcoming them. They felt dishonored. And this is where you can bring in Nancy Reagan. All right, she hears what's going on. She invites them up to Sacramento for dinners. They're so thankful. They present her with this necklace of faith, made out of bone and hair. This is from being prisoner of war. I mean, there's so many things in this case that you can talk about, and you can really bring in the First Lady right here. Now she's the First Lady of California. Talk about California, welfare. I'm rushing us because we're running out of time. Welfare, higher education, okay, going to college is a privilege, it's not a right. You can talk about the park system in California, you can talk about renewable energy, San Onofre. You can talk about after the governorship, and I'm rushing us right now. Okay, what happens after governor? Does he just suddenly become president, kids? No. All right. He talks all over the country. People are listening. He's talking. He's the great communicator. He's talking to people about what they need. He learned this. Remember, he went in the factories, and people are worried about how they're going to make a living, how they're going to make ends meet. All right, this is a great photograph. You might just quickly, if you have time, to talk about the family members. Of course, President Reagan, Mrs. Reagan. Michael is back here. Now, I will tell you that I have met Michael several times. He used to pop in, and I didn't know who he was. He has an incredible sense of humor, so beware. I haven't seen him for a while. His wife, Colleen. Maureen, you can say her dad's loyal supporter. The oldest daughter died of cancer. And of course, Ron. And then this is a friend of Maureen's. I always wondered who that was by the name of Jean Nelson. All right, so now we're making the transition and we're going to walk this.
I wanted to mention too that he was, President Reagan was a lifelong Democrat, and he backed Dwight Eisenhower in the 50s when he ran. So he was a Democrat for Ike. And then he, same with Nixon in 1960. And then he switched to a Republican Party, and he said, I didn't leave the party left me in 1962. Barry Goldwater.
Okay, so now you've got to transition from governor to presidency, right? This video is going, I will stop here depending on what's happening. People get jammed into this. And you just kind of have to decide. But a lot of things will help make the transition. You know, dunk. You know, we decided not to do the Olympics, you know, all this. You'll see the missiles and everything in Afghanistan. Okay, so you're coming through here, and you can even point these things out. The misery index, this is what's happening, right, in our country. Talk about unemployment, and layoffs, and all of this. The Cold War is going on. And then we're going to stop right here. And President Reagan is talking, or Ronald Reagan at this point, is talking to the American people, and he's saying, you better off than you were 4 years ago.
This is a good spot also to stop if you want to talk to your group and it's really